Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Conversations with MM. This is Marivir Montebon here in New York City. Kumusta kayo? Hope everybody's doing well. And right now, I'd like to thank PHLV Radio for streaming us from Las Vegas. Thank you so much for that partnership. So, ladies and gentlemen, this week, the Filipino community in New York is celebrating the 126th Philippine Independence Day celebration or anniversary. This is the 126th year where the Philippines became the first republic in Asia. So masaya tayo dyan. So early on, January 2, June 2, we celebrated with a parade at the Madison Avenue in the city, led by the Philippine Independence Day Council and the Philippine Consulate General in New York. So, grabe kabibo ang atong celebration. So, I'd like to thank the organizers, PIDC, for doing a great job. And I'd like to congratulate the winners of the parade, the contest, ladies and gentlemen. So, eto, every year, PIDC conducts a competition, a healthy competition for contingents, and for the fifth time, nakadaog na sad ang contingent sa Cebu. The performers of Sinulog, which is the Cebu Incorporated, and they won for the fifth time. Congratulations to the organizers and to the dancers. They're so amazing, spectacular. I know them kay mga taga Cebu man ni sila. And congratulations to the untouchable na gini siya nga choreographer Shiran Ibanez. Congratulations. And also to the lead dancer, front and center, Miss Jessa May Briones. Jessa is also an international dance sport athlete and artist. She has always won in several competitions here in the US and internationally. So, maunay reason nga permi lang gid na makadaog ang Cebu, other than the fact that they are really disciplined and organized. So many congratulations, Shiran and Cebu Inc., and also to the leader, the president of Cebu Inc., Miss Susan Albenio. Congratulations and thank you for putting everything together. Kay maka proud gyud, right? And also, I'd like to congratulate the winner of the float during the 126th parade, which was the Kadayawan of Davao. And this is their float. So you will see there's an artwork of the durian there. And also on the float are the beautiful Filipinas, nga mga princesses and queens sa ato ang sa dakbayan sa New York. Okay, so it was a good day. The weather was very cooperative, sunny, and so I'm showing you the picture of the officials just before they cut the ribbon to officially begin the parade. And of course, we were also being graced by the presence of Senator Chuck Schumer. He's always been there. But staple na gani si Senator Schumer sa Philippine Independence Day celebrations in Manhattan. And I remember him saying and giving a shout out to us Filipinos, saying that we are one of the nicest or the nicest people in the world. Can you imagine? So, well, politicians, they sweet talk, but there's truth to that. That's really true. And so let me see here. Oh, I have somebody watching, si Ram. Hi Maribir, mabuhay ka. Thank you Ram, mabuhay ka rin. Salamat for the shout out and hope you are enjoying this day as much as I do. It's a Friday. And so I'm going to tell our audience that also this week, our celebration went up to Albany. This is the second time that the Philippine celebration has reached Albany, the capital of New York, through the facility and leadership of Assembly Member Stephen Raga. Thank you, Stephen. And here is this beautiful picture. Everybody happy here. This was taken at the well of the there's a portion of the legislative building called the well where public activities are done. So this was after the cultural performance was made. And I can see in the picture, you will see in the picture, Mr. Saul Kapunan, uh, leader of Albany and an organization in Albany. And we have Miss Deligo. And of course, there's Conjens and Mangalili, along with Assembly Member Stephen Raga and Mrs. Fe Mangalili. And you have Ambassador Mario De Leon. And who else do I see here? There's Dr. Romulo Arumin, and there's Consul Paulo Mapula, and everyone else. So masaya yan. Everybody happy during that time. And here is another picture in Albany. This was at the forum being facilitated by the Office of Assembly Member Raga, along with Conjensen and Mangalili. And guests are the contingents from Hingoog City. They also performed during the Manhattan Parade, and they were there. The Kuya Miss Festival dancers. That's them. So they come from Hingoog City, all the way from Hingoog, about 80 of them. So that was fantastic. I'm sure they had a fantastic time. We love their dances. Thank you for the effort. Grabe na nga effort ba. And also here is the audience during the program. Very amazing time. A time to be that we become proud as Filipinos abroad ba. So these celebrations, we don't normally go crazy with Philippine Independence Day celebrations in the Philippines, at least not in my experience. But outside, you feel that your nostalgia, wala ka sa Philippines. And so it's a reason for the community to coordinate and collaborate and show the artistry and our unity as a community. So it's really a good way to celebrate our community, Filipino community in the diaspora. So we'd like to thank Assembly Member Stephen Raga for the effort, and of course the leadership of the Philippine Consulate General in New York. So Stephen Raga is the first elected official who is Filipino American into a public office in New York State. So it is an honor, and Stephen Raga is an output of the overall of the generational effort of Filipinos to be represented. So he said at one point that hopefully I'm not going to be the last. Definitely, there are many leaders in the Filipino community that are stepping up. And so, ano lang na, it's part of the whole process of evolving here in New York and in other places outside the Philippines too, that when you become rooted, you show your leadership, and you become a meaningful leader. Then you represent the immigrants in the diaspora. So that is the context of the meaningfulness of celebrating our heritage in a foreign land, or a land that we consider our second home. In this case, New York. So I hope you enjoyed the Philippine celebrations as much as I did. And oh, by the way, I'd like to show this also. Shout out to PIDSI, because they have created this mascot. This is Kuya Bao, and this is Ate Cara. So you would know that that's Carabao. That's our icon, Philippine agriculture icon. And they have dressed up Ate Cara into quite a fashionable Carabao. And Kuya Bao also is kind of flashy and fun. So, according to PIDC President Armand David, this was an idea hatched by Mr. Ner Martinez of PIDC, and they started to create this and show this last year. Kuya Ate, Kara, and Kuya Bao. So keep it up. I'll be writing a story about the celebrations very soon, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for more because there are still many events in June that will unfold in the coming days to celebrate Philippine Independence Day. There are so many. June is the time of the year where there are many community events, and also that includes our event on June 21, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. But for now, I'd like to welcome our, I already pre recorded our interview, but this time my wonderful guests are two people who are creating a movie called Chocolate Hills, no other than my wonderful spiritual sister, Miss Merly Barlaan, who is the head of the Women's Federation for World Peace International and in New York, Miss Merly Barlaan, and an upcoming actor, director, and writer, Mr. Brandon Melo. Let's take a listen at this interview, which I did at the office of the WFWP at New Yorker Hotel. Take a listen. I am very pleased to have you today, Merly Barlan, the leader, woman on top of Women's Federation for World Peace here in New York and globally as well. Thank you for this time again, Twin.
Thank you, Twin. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. And I'm looking forward to talking to you about your upcoming project together with Mr. Brandon Melo, who is right now in Boston. Brandon, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Amazing. So Brandon, ladies and gentlemen, is an actor since he was a child, 8 years old. So Merle, I'd like to segue first to you. Tell us about Chocolate Hills and why now you have decided to embark on an associate producer work or status or gig, or what is this with you now? Tell me, Merle.
Yes. So the movie that we are producing right now is a story about a young girl coming of age. She is an environmental activist and trying to protect, preserve the beauty of the Chocolate Hills. Chocolate Hills, this is something that is close to my heart because I was born there and it's such a beautiful place. It's a UNESCO Global Geopark, and you know, in Philippines, it's one of the top tourist destinations. I'll have Brandon tell you the rest of the story.
Okay, so at this point, what is the where is the level of work right now? Where are you at? Are you already on the shooting stage, or are you still casting?
No, right now we are still, but the story is done. We are still looking for investors.
Oh, okay. That's a big challenge there, you know?
Yes.
So Brandon, tell us about your role in the movie or in this project as well.
Yes, of course. So I am currently slated to be an actor, writer, and co-producer for the project. Danny, the president of Carpe Diem Pictures, we're having tentative talks about me also co-directing. It's quite a lot of responsibilities, but it's an exciting endeavor. One of the reasons why I fell in love with this project is just the story. It's so moving. It's about Andy, a young teenager from Bohol who's just looking to make change in her environment, and she's looking to preserve the Chocolate Hills and her ancestral habitat because land developers are coming in and looking to change it into shopping malls and things like that. And here in America, of course, we're very used to that being a constant, but in a place like the Philippines and specifically Bohol, that's a great offense. That's that's you losing out on all of these memories and all of this rich history that your family owns. So it's not an attack on the land, but it's an attack on you as a person. Um,
Mm.
and it's just such a great, hero's journey for Andy. And my character Newton is they have a frenemies turn lovers type relationship.
So that's the exciting part.
Yeah, yeah, and
So how did you come into the picture, into a Philippine setting? And did you come from the US in this story?
yes, my character is a kid who has a chip on his shoulder from New York, which is where Merle and you are currently at. I just came back from New York yesterday, so I'm a little tired from all the travels and such. But nonetheless, it's a great location, and I've been looking to shoot more projects in New York for quite a bit. I have a real soft spot. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. And his character is Newton. He's a bit rebellious. He's taking a gap year from before going to college. His parents are trying to push him to be a lawyer, to follow in their footsteps, but he's trying to get out of their shadows. So he's going to a volunteer program in Bohol where he meets the protagonist, Andy.
I see. So that looks to me like very exciting and young love and all that, and protecting nature. It's like the call of the generation, twin.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's the right time. And have you heard about the controversy about this resort in
Yes,
Bohol?
yes.
And I mean, even before it happened, we've already been working about this story. Danny and I from last year. We talked about that. I said, when Danny called me and asked for support for the Banawe, take me to the Banawe movie.
Yes, yes, I saw that.
So I said, okay, Danny, I'm going to the Philippines to support you, but come to Bohol with me and let's make a movie about Chocolate Hills. Because if you're making a Banawe movie, then let's do Chocolate Hills.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's even another compelling
Oh yes, yes.
movie or theme, because it's saving the environment. But I'm interested with Brandon. How long have you been working with Filipinos? And this is, I think, as far as I know, the second movie that you're working on about the Philippines. Are you enjoying? Do you like our style? What can you say, Brandon?
Absolutely. I've had Filipino friends throughout my entire life. When I was 19 years old, I had a mentor and a DP, director of photography, that I was working with for quite a bit. And he was Filipino, so I had a taste of what the culture was like, and some of the meals and things like that. But inevitably, when Danny had reached out to me in 2020 during COVID, this was during the lockdown and everything. So I was at home watching a lot of rom-coms, in the middle of the night, eating ice cream and all of that. And inevitably he reaches out to me and he's like, do you want to be in a rom-com, as I'm watching a rom-com? So it's kind of like
that's nice.
Amazing.
So that's how it started?
That's how it all kind of like started with Danny, and inevitably, I had to go through the audition process, and that was like, about 7 months. I really had to, work for the role, and I did a lot of chemistry tests and things like that. And I'm a very disciplined actor. I'm classically trained, so I wanted to make sure that I took this seriously as I would with a drama or any other project. So inevitably, that captured the interest of Danny, and he had casted me for the role. So then by, it was quite a while later until we actually got into shooting. That was in 2022. So at that point in 2022, in March, is when I went out to the Philippines. And, that was still, a little bit after, everything going on with COVID, but things have kind of settled and died down. We had to get a working visa and all sorts of things and an exemption. So it was only me and the other actor, Dylan, traveling in the plane by ourselves to the Philippines. So it was an interesting experience. And I didn't get to, I got a taste of the culture, and I got to see all these beautiful landmarks, and like the rice terraces where we shot for Banawe. But not until recently, earlier this year in February, did I really get to experience the Philippines, because I wasn't shooting a movie. And when you're shooting a movie, everything's kind of chaotic, and you're traveling here, traveling there, and you're doing press tours. But this time, I really got to experience it, just as a tourist, and as a lover of learning history and culture. And we did the Take Me to Banawe premiere, and then after that, we went to Bohol with Merle and the rest of her team, and that was such a wonderful and beautiful experience.
I
Yeah.
I let Brandon sleep in our bamboo kubo.
The hut.
Yeah,
hut.
the bamboo hut, and,
Yeah.
and it's a humble place where he took shower with the
With
bucket and the
tabo.
tabo. Yeah, bucket
Yeah.
and tabo. It was an exciting experience, right, Brandon?
No, absolutely. I mean, I still miss the Philippines to this day, because here in America we have a lot of resources and certain things that we take for granted. And
Yeah.
when I was in the Philippines, they didn't have as many resources, but they were happy every single day, and that was something that you can't buy. That's something that just is inherently a part of the culture. And depression and anxiety is such a common thing, especially in America. So it was just a change of pace, and it shows you how much that you really have, and really all that you need is your family and your friends.
Right.
So the Philippines, in my travels with Carpe Diem Pictures and Merle, with the
Mhm.
Women's Federation, just taught me so much about life and culture, and that is just like immensely life changing.
Amazing. So, do you think you could get a life partner from the Philippines?
I'm sorry.
Bring the life partner, Brandon.
Not a screen partner. It's easy to do the screen partner.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You never know,
Yeah,
right?
you never know.
My goodness. Oh my. So, but tell me, Brandon, you've been a child actor. So you started young. So did your parents, guided you through this? This was something they saw in you that you're really having a potential with?
Yes, I grew up with a single mother, so she really supported me. But she has no experience in the industry at all. So it was something that I was just inspired by at just a very young age. About
Right.
8 years old is when I really got it going, and I started in the commercial and modeling world. But really, what I wanted to do is tell stories, and while you can do that in that field, really I wanted to tell long form stories, and feature films and TV shows is really where my love is at. So when I was about early teen years, about 15, 16, I started working with an off-Broadway director, Alessio Capoletti, and he taught me all sorts of different types of techniques, both for acting and directing.
Mhm.
So I learned so much from that, and I got to work on so many incredible projects throughout the years. But really, Danny and Carpe Diem Pictures opened the door for me to really show my true potential.
Wonderful. So looking forward to you being an associate director as well, right?
I'm on Chocolate Hills. I'm an actor, writer, co-producer, and tentatively a co-director.
That's a lot of learning,
The
right?
whole package.
The whole package. So all the best to you on that. Now,
Thank you.
Merle, I'd like to ask you about the theme of the movie. It's saving the environment, and this is very much you. So, is this a conscious effort to go into this moving picture kind of education for your viewers or for your followers?
Definitely. Well, this is a fiction, and of course, a lot
Mhm.
of Danny's and Brandon's ideas, but just bits of the work that we do, incorporating the the real life
Mhm.
experience and what it takes for an environmental activist. The whole journey
Uh-huh.
of someone. Working hard and developing the advocacy, and I think it's a rich rich a story to tell
Mm-hmm.
because in the movie, so many of the characters there,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to relate. It's hard to relate if you really you don't know the
Mm-hmm.
backstories,
Mm-hmm.
or unless you have that experience. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
while working with Danny and Brandon and developing the story
Mm-hmm.
itself, we actually went there to interview people
Mm-hmm.
and who
Oh, that's good.
yeah, and we went to the area, so it's as real as you get.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, especially for Boholanos,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and Filipinos, they can relate it. They
Mm-hmm.
can relate to this story.
But is that are you using English here or the dialect, Filipino, Cebuano?
It's both.
Oh,
It's
good.
both.
Uh-huh.
And then so there is like a subtitle, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think there will be some Visaya part.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's nice.
definitely. Yeah, the Andy,
Andy will speak
the
the Cebuano
Visaya.
language, Bisaya.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
lovely. So, Brandon, do you have speaking parts that are in Cebuano as well? Like, do you have on the script, like you can speak Cebuano?
Not to my knowledge. The script is currently being written right now. We're still outlining things, but in Take Me to Banawe, I had a few lines where I
Mhm.
speak terrible Tagalog. My
Yeah.
character doesn't. He's not used to the language and such. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of similar tropes where my character is a fish out of water and getting used to the environment. I also would like to say Merle is very modest. She really was the spark to light the flames for this project, and without her, we most likely wouldn't be doing this Chocolate Hills film. So we owe a lot to her.
Well, Chocolate Hills is an amazing, geological wonder because it's like separate mounds of land. It's not like mountain ranges. So I don't know. There has already been a scientific study what caused that kind of formation, and is
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
is that even included in the movie, educating us why it's like that?
I don't know, Brandon. I
Like,
think
is it a legend explaining why is this separate mounds existing all over
That's
Bohol?
that's how we open up the movie, and there's a lot of things
Mhm.
that we pull from real life. Funnily enough, like Merle was describing earlier, the Chocolate Hills is a hot button issue right now,
Yeah.
and it very much feels like real life kind of catching up to the art. Where we've been talking about this idea for a little bit now, and now it seems like a lot of these things are coming to fruition and happening in real life. So it's influencing us to keep revising and adding all these little different details and trying to make it as authentic as possible. And one of the things that Danny and I were striving to do while outlining and being creative is to put ourselves in Pahol and get to know the culture and its people and the environment, so it feels as real and authentic as possible. So when you see it on screen, it has that texture that again you really can't buy without being there and learning this yourself.
Right. So I suppose I don't know if you would include the tarsiers over there, like the endangered species, or
Yes,
also
absolutely.
would include like eating the staples there, the what do you call this, twin?
the ubi. Which one?
The ube, and also the sticky rice.
The
Calamay. Oh my gosh, you
calamay,
have to
and
put all those elements of our
yes,
culture.
yes.
Yeah. Oh my
Because
gosh.
there's and Andy is a granddaughter of the
Of a
tribe. She
farmer.
came from a tribe.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, from a tribe, and she's gonna show us indigenous practices
Oh,
and
that's
farming
good.
practices. But what I'm really hoping to show through this movie is
Yeah.
the human side and the people's stories. What we hear, I mean, especially right now,
Mm-hmm.
last week, I don't know if people here in America know about this, but there are 68 government officials that are being suspended by the ombudsman because
What?
of this issue about the environmental issue in it started in Chocolate Hills,
Mm-hmm.
from the governor all the way to
Right.
current mayors and former mayors and the barangay captains and
Is
all
that because of the development
because of just
in
the
in the
Captain's
hills?
Peak resort uh, like an eyesore to them, is an eyesore. So it's
Uh-huh.
really like a development.
What is your
that-
take on that? Is it
for
wrong?
me, I think the to be honest is really counterproductive
Mm.
because if you want to find a solution, the solution is it should be proactive, and it should be centering on what is the core of the issue, which is protection of the environment and the welfare and welfare of the people, its livelihood, sustainable, balanced, harmonious coexistence between people and its management of the natural resources and environment. Right now, what they are doing, the ombudsman and the policymakers, they panic. They're panicking now. And so it's now become punitive. Instead of protecting, but they are punishing for 6 months, they're suspending these officials. But how can they do their job to find solutions when they are already suspended? But of course, they have legal basis for that, right? Maybe gross negligence of what their responsibilities. It's really just about these officials provided permits for the environmental compliance, something like that. But anyway, that's all for them to
But
settle.
I have a question, Twin. The resort is functioning. Is it running?
It's closed right now.
It is closed, it will
closed
not
right
be
now.
opened again.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, but
that means the probable people who were employed have lost their jobs. Is that what you're saying?
They lost their jobs, and what is happening now is the local agency, the agency DNR, the PAMBI, who are supposed to give this permit. Now they're being taken over by the region, and then I think, I'm not sure if now being taken to national. The plan is to make it national level. So imagine if I have to build a small building in my land, on my land, instead of asking permit from the local municipio, then we have to go to the region and then go to national. Can you imagine the
so it got more complicated, you're saying?
Yes, it got more complicated. It's no longer people centered. It's really very much on policies. So this part I would like to raise awareness. I mean, balancing, the Chocolate Hills is there, the UNESCO Geopark status. This I would also like to educate people.
Right.
By itself, it's just a paper, it's a designation, it's like a recognition, an accolade. But it doesn't necessarily bring food to the table, on the table for the people. But because of this, for the sake of preserving or maintaining this, and of course it's environmental protection, but they focus too much on policy, but forgetting about what the people really need.
Okay, I get your drift that the problem, it has already been developed. There is a development in the area which spawned in employment, correct? And now it's like a delayed reaction because
it's a reactive.
It's a delayed reaction because it has been approved. The DNR approved of it. So the construction happened, development happened, and now they're reacting to it. And so now my practical question is, are they going to close the facility?
It's closed already?
And they will never open it again.
Well, yeah, that too.
This is another lesson, Twin, of governance, I guess. Like especially layered governance, local, regional, national.
It's organic. The right now in 1980s, when there was a Republic Act proclaiming the Chocolate Hills as a National Geological Monument, a protected area. So but then I guess until recently, when Bohol became a UNESCO Geopark in 2023, that's when the attention of the world were like, okay, then we need to maintain it, because every 4 years they have to be evaluated every 4 years.
Uh-huh.
And so now people, our government leaders, the agencies, they gotten very strict about it. And so it only took one vlogger to fly a drone over the chocolate hills and
And they
notice
saw it.
this eyesore thing.
Mhm.
But you
But
know,
it's a delayed reaction. It has been there for, we develop a place like minimum 1 year, 2 years. And so you cannot retroact a law. So therefore, that's kind of a delayed reaction for
yeah. So this is a
government.
watershed moment for Bohol, for Philippines, for the Chocolate Hills area. So I mean, I think it's really crucial that we get both sides of the story, and also, what are we gonna do? Maintain the pristineness, the beauty of the Chocolate Hills, looking at the green grasses of the Chocolate Hills, but then people are hungry. I mean, these hills, the natural resources, they exist to be managed well by people so that people don't go hungry.
That is why I so believe in your undertaking of permaculture, which is
Permaculture, yes.
community based. You have to educate the farmers, men and women, to undertake all this food production for food security.
Yes, this is the time when we need to transform the food production systems and the designing of the farming, whatever they have done in the past. It needs,
which is also bad because it's monocropping.
Yes, it's monocropping. It's destroying the environment. So you know what? I think the only fault of the resort owner,
yes,
is the design of his resort. Had he incorporated permaculture design, designing it to harmonize and balance nature with nature, we call it environmentally responsive designs, regenerative designs. But he didn't. He was not necessarily educated in that. It's something new.
Yeah, but it's his private undertaking. That's also anher clash.
Yes,
right?
So this is something, like with a new level of awareness of people, climate change, and all policies are more and more strict. So I think this controversy of the Chocolate Hills, it's a watershed. It's a moment where there's a fork road when we need to change our mindsets, change our lifestyle, change governance, change policies. That it's not just centering on solid policies, and it has to be people centered.
I agree.
Community led, community oriented.
Correct. So maybe that should be in your movie too.
Well, yeah, I was hoping. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to influence the director.
Like even in just a conversation over lunch, in one of the scenes, they could do some remarks.
I mean, definitely. Yeah. Right, Brandon?
You could, or even flash it on the news, like, TV.
There's ways that communicate what's, going on. And we always want to make sure that it's story first at the end of the day, But of course, we also want to be authentic to what the experience is like in Chocolate Hills. So it's always about finding a fine balance. But nonetheless, we understand that the topics and the subjects at hand are extremely important, and I don't believe will be overlooked.
Right, because that is where you become relevant. That's the point of the story, the environment theme, and then people growing with the environment. Because the Philippines is a very rich country in terms of natural resources, and poverty is in fact no excuse if we factor in all our natural resources. So it's about time we learn all this, and hopefully it is going to inspire everyone.
I think, no doubt. I am inspired, even just the concept of the story itself. Yeah.
Amazing. So all the best to that undertaking, to Carpe Diem Productions, and to you, Merle, as the associate producer, and Brandon as the overall, talent man, acting, directing, writing. That's amazing, Brandon. It's a lot of learning experience for you, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining into the fold of us Filipinos.
Well, I gotta give it to Danny Aguilar is
Uh-huh.
a fine director. His ideas, his brilliant idea, and his way of promoting the Philippines through these stories and his cinematography.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's beautiful. It's stunning. So
Banawe was a very wonderfully shot
yeah.
film. The scenery was great. Like you want to go to Banawe really.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you want to go to Bohol as well when you watch Chocolate Hills. So thank you so much, Twin Merly and
Thank you,
Brandon,
Twin. My pleasure.
and all the best. And looking forward to watching Chocolate Hills next year. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that conversation. That became really very deep. What a conversation. Thank you so much, Twin Merly Barlaan of the Women's Federation for World Peace International, and as well as actor Brandon Melo. That was great. So you have to look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. There's something to look forward to again. Chocolate Hills, a production of Carpe Diem Productions, and in cooperation with, I'm sure, the community people here in New York, the Filipinos in Bohol, the Boholanos. I'm sure they are going to be excited to pitch in into producing the film. And I'd like to go back to our celebration of the 126th Philippine Independence Day. You know, for the past celebrations, I've been looking at people, how they wear the Filipiniana. So Filipiniana is our Spanish-inspired dress for women, and for men, it's Barong Tagalog. And so let me show you what awesome media has seen. Albitan na. Okay, so that's a mix. Hold on. That's a mix of trendy Filipiniana, meaning modern, and okay, I'm on. My audio is on. So it's a mix of trendy, modern Filipiniana and classic, like the old fashion that Spain had influenced into our culture. And that was from the January to parade. And this one, I'm showing the fashion police do what's the fashion police scene in Albany. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's our fashion police brought to you by Awesome Media. I hope you agree with me on how gorgeous they are. And that's been our episode for this afternoon. Thank you so much for your time, for watching, and for commenting here. And I'd like to remind you of our event that's coming up on June 21 at the Philippine Center, the launch of Women and Media Cafe. This is for us women and for all the well-meaning men, of course. Society will be much better if we help each other, men and women who are respecting each other. And so we have this platform. The men are included as well, but this is specific to women's groups and entrepreneur and the media having a collaborative relationship. So I'd like to close with this video that we have produced, and our lead performer singer is Miss Carla Mongado. She is from the She's of course from the Philippines. What I was trying to say is from Dumaguete, from the southern part of the Philippines. So happy to share this. And remember, everybody, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. See you again in our future episode.
Usahay magadamgo ako nga ikaw ug ako nagahi ko gamay nganong damguhon ko ikaw damguhon sa kanunay sa akong kamiyaw usahay magamahay ako nganong nabuhi pa yung kalibutan nganong kitiyaw-tiyaw pa ang kugma ko kanimo
Recording